Hola.
Hi guys, welcome back to my life as Roxy. Today I have a painting video. I know I haven't filmed a painting video in quite a while, but I thought I would come out with another painting video for you guys. So today's video is it's the 10 commandments of painting, especially for beginners. You can watch this video if you've been doing painting for quite a while, but I know it's going to be a little bit more beneficial for beginners. So let's start with the commandments. The first commandment is don't fear fat. I know a lot of people are really scared to eat a lot of fat. I know we've been programmed for years and years by a lot of adverts, by doctors, by basically everyone telling us that fat is bad for you. But I am here to tell you guys that fat is not bad for you at all. It is actually healthy. But I'm not talking about all types of fat. I'm mostly talking about saturated fat and monosaturated fat. So it is basically fat related to animal fat. So say for example you have a steak with fat in it. Don't cut the fat off. You need to eat the steak with the fat or the piece of meat with the fat. Fat is healthy for you, and fat also helps with controlling hunger when you are doing painting. I've seen a lot of people that make food and they do follow the green list, but it contains more vegetables, and people try to turn painting into some type of vegetarian diet, which it is not. Maybe there is some people that do the vegetarian type of painting, which doesn't really make sense to me because painting is a high fat, low carb diet. So yeah, we eat meat in painting, so that includes the fat that comes with the meat. So don't be scared of fat. Fat is good for you, especially saturated fat and monosaturated fat. If you're unsure about what saturated fat and monosaturated fat is, I am going to make another video for you guys explaining what exactly that is. But in the meantime, you can do some research on your own through Google. So commandment number 2, eat enough vegetables. I cannot stress this enough. Sometimes people focus way too much on eating vegetables and neglect the meat side of painting, but then you come at certain cases where people don't eat enough vegetables and they focus more on the meat side of painting. So it is important to eat vegetables. Vegetables are healthy not only for the painting diet, but basically for any type of diet that you can basically get on planet Earth. So vegetables are not only delicious to eat, but they're also healthy. But make sure you follow the vegetables on the green list. Guys, it's important to save your list on your phone or in your kitchen. Just put them somewhere where you can see them every day. You have the green list, you have the orange list that you are allowed to eat from, and then you also have the red list that you're not supposed to touch. So commandment number 3, re-educate yourself. Watch out for carbs disguised as proteins. Eating foods that are perceived to be proteins, for example, legumes, baked beans, peanuts, will undermine your attempt to stay in a fat burning state or in a fat burning mode. Remember, vegetables with high protein content can often be high in carbs too. Then we have number 4, which is snacking is a lie. Now, I know a lot of people will view this differently. A lot of people will have something different to say about this. But in my opinion, I feel like when you snack, you really interfere with the whole painting process and the process of losing weight. So it is not really necessary to snack, but a lot of people do it. They snack on nuts and stuff. And nuts, although nuts is the most healthy form of snack, but it doesn't work with everyone, and sometimes that causes a weight gain, or it makes you not lose weight and you hit a plateau, and you're like somewhere in your brain you're like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but it's because you snack too much. If you have a problem with snacking, what I can say is try to increase your fat a little bit. It helps with hunger. I'm not saying add a lot of fat to your meals or whatever, but if you know you are a person that does not add enough fat in your meals, or whenever you eat lunch, breakfast, or dinner, and you know you are a person that will probably focus more on vegetables, remember to add a little bit fat. Fat keeps you fuller for longer, and it prevents that hungry feeling that drives you to snacking. And point number 5, don't overeat or undereat. I've seen this on our painting Facebook group, where I see a lot of people struggle containing or maintaining a certain type of portion size. I think people freak out when it comes to portion control, but because they don't want to snack, they eat a lot of food at meal times. Now I know, guys, don't put too much pressure on yourself when you are dealing with this. Know that as time progresses, you will learn how to control your portion sizes, and you will learn a better portion, or a portion that fits with you. So don't put too much stress on yourself, but also remember that don't overeat and also don't undereat. Painting is very effective diet, so there is no need to basically starve yourself, but don't have the fear of not eating carbs that you feel like you need to overeat during meal times. If you guys understand what I'm trying to say, I don't want you to feel like you're missing out on something, and we don't want you to feel like you're starving yourself. So eat enough food, but if you feel full, stop. And if you feel like skipping a meal, you can also skip a meal. Painting is not, we're not into forcing a person to eat each and every meal. Maybe if you are a beginner in painting and you want to eat 3 meals a day, you can do that. But of course, as time progresses, you can mix up painting with intermittent fasting, and it makes it so much more effective. Point number 6, do not eat too much protein. Don't focus so much on eating more protein. As I've mentioned earlier, painting is not a high protein diet, it is a high fat diet. Point number 7, be alert. It is so important to focus on what you buy from stores. You need to remember, I know these days you get a lot of packages of food that have already been made for painting. I know a lot of stores want to be more painting friendly, and that is great. I'm so happy about that, and I know a lot of people are also happy about that. But one thing we should also remember is that some companies probably don't have our best interest at heart. They're just trying to, because the painting community is growing so big these days, they're trying to benefit somehow from the painting trend, the painting trend. So when you do buy foods that have, or when you do buy food that has already been prepared, or packages where you can just throw in milk or something else and then just put it in the oven, please be sure to check the labels. It is 100% important to check your labels, guys. Make sure that the labels don't include any red lists. Yeah. So guys, there's also one thing that I want to read for you guys in terms of when you read the labels or when you decide to buy these types of foods, because I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys that you should not buy these Banting branded food, but I'm also going to tell you guys to be very careful. I wrote it down because I kind of forget it every time, but if carb content is higher than 5 grams per 100 gram, or the label lists anything on the red list, don't buy it. There's also one very important rule that I live by, and it is, if you couldn't have made it at home, stay away, or you should probably stay away from it. Now I know a lot of people have different views on this, but that is basically how I feel, because sometimes you can't trust these brands, and sometimes people struggle a little bit when it comes to reading labels. I've seen this a lot on the Facebook group that I belong to, the Banting Facebook group, that people even post pictures every single day asking if they can eat this type of food. Can I eat this? Can I eat that? Can I eat that? Without reading what's on the label. So guys, it's important to read what's on the label. Nobody's gonna baby you every time. Learn your red list, compare your red list to the label on the foods that you are going to buy, because there's not always going to be someone that's going to tell you, no, you need to eat this, stay away from that, eat this, stay away from that. Although you can ask people if there is someone available to ask, but it's best to educate yourself and be alert before buying anything, because you don't want to buy something and then come home, ask the group if you're allowed to eat this, and then they say no. Then you have already spent a load of money on something that you can't eat, and basically some people will be tempted to eat this thing just because they spent money on buying this product. Point number 8, avoid too much fruit. Now, I know the fruit is from the orange list, and the orange list is food that we are sometimes allowed to eat from. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys to not eat fruit. Fruit is so delicious and you are allowed to eat fruit. But obviously, if you go back to your orange list, you know that you need to eat fruit in certain portions. For example, maybe an apple a day, or apple and a half a day. Just go through your orange list and stick with it, because guys, although fruit contains natural fructose, which is basically seen as a healthy sugar, but at the end of the day, sugar remains sugar. So no matter if it is sugar from a fruit or sugar that you buy from a store, it is still, at the end of the day, if you eat too much of it, it can be bad for you and it can stall your weight loss. Point number 9, control your dairy. Although dairy is nutrient dense, it does contain lactose, which is a sugar, which can be stumbling block for most. When you hit fat burning mode, you should cut down on dairy to a quarter a cup per day. Generally, higher fat dairy is lower in lactose, and the grading looks like this: from the most to the least lactose. Low fat milk, full cream milk, double thick yogurts, and fresh cream and butter. These foods go from the most to the least lactose. So food like double thick yogurts and fresh cream have less lactose than low fat milk, so you should rather eat the double thick yogurts and the fresh cream and the full cream milk instead of choosing the low fat milk. And point number 10 is be strong. Painting is not easy, guys. It is not easy for anyone trying to do this, but the most important thing that you can do for yourself is to be strong during this period and just keep on trying. Even if you fail, keep on trying. Not that I'm saying you guys should fail, but keep on trying. You will eventually succeed with painting. So guys, that is all for today's video. I'll see you guys again with another painting video. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Bye.